I feel like I should have been ready. Wait. Oh, you better put some epic music. Do it. Wait, do it again. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I feel like the epic music will just make it better.
Phase 2 discussion.
What was that?
I need to get my list again because I remember nothing.
God. Do we move? We do?
We move. Phase 2. So, the first thing I want to talk about is, do you think they had made preparations for Phase 2
as in
before knowing the success of Avengers 1?
I do not believe so.
So basically you don't think they anticipated
I don't think they anticipated
success.
That successful, because Iron Man 3, the first film of Phase 2, is very risky. And it feels very indie.
Okay.
You know, it feels very low-key, very underground. Still action, but it feels very low-key. And if you compare it to something like Captain America 2, Captain America 2 is much more huge in terms of scale. You can tell they put money into Captain America 2 and into maybe Guardians and Avengers 2. Iron Man 3 looks like a great film with a low budget. And I feel like they really wanted to keep that indie kind of vibe to it. And I feel like if they had money behind them, they would have went all out on Iron Man 3. They would have been like, listen, let's do everything. Let's put everything we have into it. And even the concept of Iron Man 3, you know, him having anxiety, that's
PTSD, yeah.
PTSD. Like, if you think about it, like a Disney franchise doing
Were
PTSD.
they Disney at that point?
Avengers 1 was when they, I think, became Disney. But
right.
A Disney franchise that's very big, I don't think they would have. I don't think they saw it coming. But I think not seeing it coming is what allowed them to take risks also in the script. Because I believe the script of Captain America 2 is a very low-key script. Like, it's a very independent script. It's not too out there. However, it's risky and it's different. Avengers 2 is definitely a script and a movie in general of, this is what worked, let's put it into this one. And I don't think that's a good thing. I think Iron Man 3 and Captain America 2 benefited from very independent scripts. And then Captain America 2 got the super benefit of almost the underground spirit, I believe, of Iron Man 3 and the budget of Avengers 2. Or Avengers 1, really. But yeah. And then that's what made Captain America Captain America. But I think Guardians is... because Avengers was successful, they knew Avengers 2 was going to make bucket loads of money. And they were like, you know what? Even if this film fails, we've got Avengers 2. We are going to make our money back.
Right.
So, you know, the success, I feel, was not... Sometimes there was, okay, we made this decision due to success. Sometimes it was a happy surprise. You know, it's...
Honestly, to this day, I don't know how Guardians happened. Like, I don't know, because
James Gunn is a god.
It's true, he is a god. But I don't...
But lowercase, because he's humble.
Yes. But I just don't understand how... I don't know. Like, that's literally it. I just don't know how it could have happened, because obviously Avengers 1 happens, and it's like, okay, we have these established characters who are great. And Guardians doesn't even equate into Avengers 2. You know, and I don't understand why. I guess because they were planning to make things more cosmic.
But what were they Guardians? Oh man, it's weird. Actually,
but because they had Thor to deal with the cosmic stuff, you know, I mean, they very easily could. Because what? I guess,
to be fair, he was doing it terribly. But yes, you're right.
But maybe they could have just doubled down on Thor, like realistically. But instead, they thought, hey, you know,
or put Guardians as characters in a Thor movie.
But no, like they just did this whole thing. Honestly, it's incredible that it happened. I'm very happy that it happened. And I think this boils down to what we believe of Phase 2, is that Phase 2 is a very strange phase of really big risks and very safe safes. You know? Like you were mentioning Guardians, and Iron Man 3. Relatively risky, but then you have Thor 2 and even Avengers 2 in itself.
Which is just very safe.
And Ant-Man?
Ant-Man is just nothing. It's not even safe. It's just nothing.
You know? It's a very strange phase because, like what you put it best, it has some of the worst movies of the whole MCU, but also some of the best.
Of humanity. Humanity.
You know, it's a strange one. But sorry, I cut you off there.
No, it's fine. Yeah, you're right. Like, I believe it has 3 of the best MCU movies of all time, and I believe it has some of the worst movies MCU have done. And I don't even think they're really bad movies. I just think they're really weirdly paced. They're really weirdly done, and it feels like the tone is off. It feels like Phase 2 wanted to be darker, but had no idea just how to be dark without being silly. Because when you think about it, the brighter the film, the better the film. Avengers 2 was like, ooh, strings and chills, but it didn't really work.
Strings.
It was. I do like Avengers 2. I enjoy it, but I know what it is. Ant-Man, again, nothing. And then you have Thor 2. Thor 2, like, if you go back and watch the trailer of Thor, it's just so dark, and it ends with Thor like, you know, Thor the way he shouts.
The classic Thor scream.
The classic Thor's.
Thank you. In case we didn't get it.
In case you didn't get it, do you want another one? But yeah, like, it's so dark, and then it was tonally off. Thor 2, it's not even that it's funny, it's more goofy humor. It's Darcy mispronouncing Thor's hammer as Mew Mew, and it's like, oh, okay, that was funny in Thor 1 and it kind of fit, but now it's like weird. The Doctor's naked around Britain, and one thing I hate is films that are set in London, because the mise-en-scène in this country is so bleak and dry. It's always foggy somehow. It's always foggy. It's like they only come to shoot London at midnight or
in like spring or winter.
Yeah,
or, I don't know. I don't know when it's
like,
foggy. I've lived here for 22 years and I have no idea.
I don't even know what season we're in. I'm gonna walk out with
flip-flops,
swimming shorts, flip-flops, and an umbrella, and 3 puffy jackets, because I just don't know what's happening. But yeah, like, I that's a personal thing though. But yeah, like, as far as the movie, it's very goofy, but not in a good way. And that's what makes it, I think, one of the worst movies. And then you have something like Captain America 2, which is widely considered as like one of the best films in recent memory. Like, it's espionage, action, thriller, political, like, it's just all greatly done. Winter Soldier is truly menacing. Man, like, the choreography in that film, I mean, I don't think any Marvel film has had.
Well, that has always been a weakness of MCU movies, the actual fight choreography, and it's funny to say that DC even sometimes has outshone them.
Yeah, you know? I would say DC does have better choreography than Marvel in, like, hand-to-hand fight scenes.
You know.
Yeah. I would agree with you on that. Yeah, but like, man, like, the Cap Winter Soldier fight on the highway is like one of the best fight scenes ever. Like, man, that is great stuff.
At least like action set pieces in MCU.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, a lot of my fellow Marvel fans even remember that the music that was playing and the way the intensity goes up to 11 with every screech, like the little screeches that happen while they're fighting. Like, man, I remember watching that fight scene in college for like no reason. Everyone's like, why are you watching this? And I was like, because it's glorious. Like, they just didn't know. They just didn't understand how good that fight was, man. It was truly amazing. It was truly amazing. And that was a Phase 2 film that was done so right as compared to Thor 2, which was done not right.
Honestly, I'm doing this video and I couldn't tell you what happens in Thor 2. and we watched a summary video just before doing it. I still can't tell you. I don't know.
Listen,
man.
I'm gonna tell you this. Okay. I kind of know. I just know that Loki's alive at the end.
Yes, and I guess that's all the women care about.
And men, I love Loki.
Okay, Avengers 2. Let me go back to this.
Yup.
So, with all these things, this mix of Iron Man 3, the Amazing Iron Man 3, Captain America 2, and then Thor not doing so well, I can't believe that Guardians was as good as it was. Like, and it's undoubtedly my favourite movie in this whole MCU.
Mine too.
And
One of at least.
And I don't understand how it was made, and I don't understand how not only was it made, but it was so damn good.
I think Guardians benefits from being so damn risky. Thor 2 is a cosmic film, but it didn't take that risk. It didn't stay cosmic. It
goes to London.
It goes to London, the most basic place. Dude, but yeah, Guardians stays cosmic. It explores so many different worlds. Like it's got a planet that has a bath of spinal fluids. Like it does any and everything that a weird person can come up with, and it does it amazingly.
And everything from like the sets to the practical work on makeup, like everything is so well done.
It's so well done. And I did say Cap and Peggy is one of like the best emotional relationships. But man, Star-Lord and Gamora, damn, like I'm bought into it. I love the way they did it. I like that Gamora isn't even though Gamora is clearly swayed by Star-Lord because of her relationship with Thanos. It's like she doesn't trust herself enough to love someone, and B, it's almost like she's protecting him from a dark fate, because like she has a very dangerous dad, so she won't let someone in. And then you have someone like Star-Lord who's very emotionally connected with his mother, and I like that someone because I don't know, people who are emotionally connected with their mothers tend to be more open about their emotions. See, he had no dad, not really.
Well, no,
Yondu. Not Yondu. But he did have a very developed relationship with his mum before she died. And his whole way of living is defined by his mother. When you think of the music, the way he dances, this is clearly someone who spent a lot of time with his mum. So him being very open about his feelings to Gamora is quite fitting when you think about it. And I really liked the aspects of someone like Gamora who's emotionally detached because of her upbringing, and then someone like Star-Lord who's very open about his emotions because of his upbringing.
James Gunn.
Me! Jimmy Gunn! No, but yeah, like man, that was great. That's great.
You know, and it's also funny without quips necessarily. I feel
it's more odd humor. It's more, what are you talking about, Batista?
Yeah,
you know,
it's God, I don't know, man. God, like, and even the fact that like the music fits so well, so well, and it's just such a great fusion of like older music. Well, it's not even that old, but such futuristic setting with older music. I don't know, man.
And it almost is like the past and the future, and then I really like that. It's true. I like that, and it's actually so deep as well, because it's like his connection to Earth. It's like almost him being with his mom or being in his planet without actually having to go there. When you think about it, it's really a way for him to avoid coming to Earth.
Well, yeah, and I mean the ending kind of really. The ending is emphasised by all of this you're talking about, because then he has to kind of let his mum go.
Yeah.
In a way, and that's what that whole ending scene is, with the whole like
take my hand,
because he didn't take the hand at the beginning. God damn it, I'm getting emotional. He didn't take the hand at the beginning, but he does take Gamora's hand.
Tell them about the thing when you missed it.
The first time I watched Guardians, I was buying food when the movie started, and I came in. and my friend is like, "Oh yeah, no, don't worry, man. You didn't miss anything. Don't worry." I literally miss his mum like dying of cancer and him getting abducted. It's like what?
Oh yeah, it's not. No, it's not. It's okay. It's okay.
I couldn't believe, and I remember rewatching it. I thought it was a different movie. I was like, oh, this is a bit depressing. I just wanted Uka Chaka. I'm just watching this woman like
die.
This bald woman die.
Oh man. Okay.
But no, Guardians is a masterclass of this whole MCU thing. I'm very happy it worked.
Yeah. I want to say one thing I really love is can we just do like, I don't know, our favorite scenes, because I feel like
Go for it.
my personal favorite scene, apart from the ending, which I feel like we can just both talk about together, but my personal favorite is when Star-Lord saves Gamora and like
In space.
in space. Man, that's flipping great. The musical score in that film, I know you like opera and things, but man, the way the musical score builds up to when he turns and sees all the Ravagers behind her, and what I really liked about it is there was no real reason for him to save Gamora, and I get that it's weird that that's a good thing, but it kind of is. This is someone who his whole life has been a stealer, someone who's naturally on the run, someone who's naturally perceived as a bad guy, but he's always had this instinct to kind of be good. And it's like he even says, I don't know what it was, I just couldn't let you die. And it reminds me of that scene in, for anime fans, My Hero Academia.
Right.
It's one of the very early episodes, but he's like, the guy is like, oh, don't do it, you can't. And it's like, he doesn't even know how he's running, but he's running towards the guy to save him. He's like, I don't know what's going on, I just can't let you die. And and that Star-Lord scene is very, like, it reminds me of that. Like, I really like that characterization. It's just someone who just naturally just can't not do the bad, can't be selfish. And yeah, that's my favorite scene.
Man, we are Groot. Like, god damn it, we are Groot. Like, I've got nothing special to say about it.
Just say we are Groot.
We are Groot.
Why? We are Groot.
I'm a sucker for.
Trees.
Well, I guess he is animate. Like, I was gonna say inanimate, but I guess he's not inanimate. But just these extremely low conscious beings that exhibit extreme cute behaviours. God damn it! It's just everything. It's the lighting of the scene, and
it's when he uses his little trunk to wipe rockets. Oh man.
No, Oh no. Well, actually, okay. I have two favorite scenes. We are Groot, and when he reads the letter.
Oh, is that my little Star-Lord? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my days.
And then it's like, as soon as it says my little sin, like doom 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 doom, like
listen, baby.
Like that letter as well. Because again, he's such a childish person.
He is. He is.
But then you realise this persona he's trying to go by.
It's because of his mom.
And
it's almost like he's trying his best to be someone that his mom is proud of.
Mm.
And that's why he keeps the name. And the funniest thing is, the more he acts like a hero, that's when people call him Star-Lord, and not when he's like a waste man. So it's almost like he's finally his mom's child. Oh my.
I'm watching Guardians.
Oh.
I'm watching Guardians after this.
Oh man, this is a great film. It's a pretty great film. We haven't even talked about Batista yet. We haven't even talked about Batista yet. Oh man. But
he's yeah. I'm surprised. I was surprised. I mean, obviously The Rock is one thing, but I don't think The Rock could really do a Batista. Like, seriously.
No, Batista. I feel like The Rock is. I feel like the good thing about Batista is he isn't too self-absorbed in his character, and he was willing to look idiotic, and it works. He has the funniest lines, but he is a fully fledged character. There could have been a few more things maybe to exhibit his strength.
Yeah,
but
it's a bit confusing how it scales with, like, let's say Gamora, for example.
Yeah, one problem with Drax is, well, the Guardians in general, when I think about it, is I don't understand their power levels. I don't understand who they can be, who they can't be. Like, when someone says, oh, who would win the fight between this and this, I can never really put a Guardian in, because it's like, okay, for example, Drax versus, I don't know, a Black Panther. I don't know. I really don't know, because it's like, Drax is fighting cosmic beings, but he's losing very easily. Like, you know, he's firm in it, but he's losing.
Or even like Star-Lord and Iron Man.
Yeah. I mean, to be real, he took him on in Infinity
Well, this is the thing, but before that, I would have said to you, like, outright, like, no,
Iron Man would just kill him, innit?
You know, but
Star-Lord's got great weapons, apparently.
Yeah, no, he's like Batman in space.
Yes.
And a bit of a dick. No.
I will say Star-Lord is my favourite character in the MCU. Guardians 1 made me like him. That's not when I loved him, though. We'll get into that. But yeah, Star-Lord is actually one of my favourite characters. Thor I like, but more in a superhero kind of way. Star-Lord, I relate to him a lot. Because I too was kidnapped by blue men in space. Oh my goodness. I drove people crazy with that song. Oh man, people knew me as Ooga Chaka guy. Because it was just like, oh yeah. Like, remember, even our friend Isaiah, right, who doesn't even know about Marvel and Guardians until we brainwashed him.
He knew the whole soundtrack.
He knew the whole soundtrack. And he was just like, oh, this song, Jimmy. Like, he'd hear the song and be like, Jimmy, this is your song. And you'd hear me, wherever you were, you just hear, because I was obsessed with that movie, man.
And I realised we didn't even really talk about this in Phase 1.
Okay.
But Thanos...
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my days.
Also gives a lot more exposure to the impending doom. I guess that the little teaser at the end of Avengers 1 is to set up a villain, and we didn't really know what was going to happen with Thanos, especially with Avengers 2 coming. And honestly, I don't think Marvel Studios knew what they were going to do with Thanos.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And
especially seeing how Avengers 2 turned out. I think they probably did intend to at least have more Thanos in Avengers 2, and then Disney probably got them and said, hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. You've got yourselves another 6 years here.
In it, they were probably thinking, we can milk this cow. And here's me. And I remember saying to myself, there's no way I'm going to be that hyped for Infinity War.
Mickey Mouse pulls in Joss Sweden like on a leash. He's like... You pick up Thanos and put him over here, and you get there.
I don't want to say it for 6 years, okay? Alright.
Like, honestly...
James Gunn, what is that you said on Twitter?
No, we don't bring that up.
Oh.
And, but no, so it really is interesting because regardless of what was going to happen with Thanos, Guardian 1 gave a lot needed exposition on the character and at least... the scope of his control within the universe. You understand that Ronan is a pretty bad guy. Like, people in that galaxy are afraid of Ronan, yet he's being controlled by Thanos. So it's trying to at least build a picture. Obviously, comic fans know who Thanos is, but for just the movie goers, it's trying to build a picture of, okay, who is this villain that we saw at the end of Avengers 1?
And why is he such a threat?
And not only that, it gives you a connection to him in Gamora.
And Nebula.
Obviously.
I feel like Nebula will talk about more in Guardians too, because she's got it. But Gamora, her connection with Thanos and what he did to her is kind of talked upon and spoken about. But
so man, not only is Guardians like a weird movie that got made in terms of the circumstances, it's actually quite important. Because...
what we're saying is, just watch Guardians. What are you doing here?
But honestly, I just find it so weird that this random movie that got made with this weird, kooky director, it's so important. Like, we discussed that things like the Power Gem could have probably just been done with Thor, but to really bring in, or at least explain who Thanos is, and not only that, but give you a connection to him through his daughter.
What? Daughter?
It really gives you a lot of a lot of things to bite on with regards to this new villain they're building up.
Mm-hmm.
And man, seriously, I really love Guardians. I think Guardians 2 did a much better job of setting things up than... Guardians 1 did a much better job of setting things up than Avengers 2. Although I understand that might have been a harder job.
Yeah, and I think we'll get into that because Avengers 2 had a lot of things going for it. Okay, for that, there's two more films I want to talk about that we haven't really developed on. One is the Iron Man 3 thing. One is the Avengers 2 thing. Which one do you want to do first?
Let's do Iron Man 3.
Okay. So many people were wrong about this movie. And so many people would tell me that this movie was garbage, rubbish, the worst film Marvel has ever made. And so many people are wrong. Some of those people were Italian. Some of those people are in this video right now. What, who gonna introduce? There ain't no one left but you. Iron Man 3 is the greatest film ever. No, I'm joking. Okay. It's such a great film.
In my defense, I watched a poor pirated copy on my bed in a marathon of Avengers movies, and I think I was just trying to burn through them in preparation for Civil War.
That makes it worse. That makes it worse.
I just burned...
Because your opinion was not only wrong, it was scattered.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Iron Man 3 haters, all of you are horrible, horrible human beings. Because you've deceived a lot of people from a great movie. Now, I will admit a few things about Iron Man 3. Number one, Mandarin twist is bad. Not because of the twist, but because of who the villain turned out to be. The villain is very generic, unnecessary, boring. I'm with you on that. I don't think the Mandarin twist itself is bad. I like the message you were trying to say, and I'll get into it later, but I do think the villain is bad. Number two, Pepper Potts should not have been the one to kill the villain, although it did look pretty cool. But I just feel like it belittles the message of the film. I agree with that. Number three, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another bad thing. The ending is very half. It's because of the whole context of he still stays as Iron Man. Maybe him taking off the arc character isn't necessary. I can hear you on those three things. And I agree with them. However, you have to think about MCU as its own entity. MCU is a powerhouse. MCU is a genuine powerhouse in cinema. People look to MCU. MCU don't look to other people. So when MCU do things, it's not in the context of comic books anymore. It's in its own universe. So they can only react to the things they've created in their universe. The whole point of Iron Man is the issues and the way the government or governments and military profit off war and profit of the fear of terrorism. That's why the Mandarin being a fake villain is so perfect, because it links to Iron Man 1 and war profiteering. There's literally a company making a profit of war. It's literally the very thing that Tony Stark was in Iron Man 1, just in a very different and much more maniacal way. And then also you have Tony Stark, who's like the most narcissistic, arrogant, self-absorbed character in perhaps all of comic book history, go through anxiety and PTSD. Do you know how great that is for emos? What was I talking about?
Anxiety. It literally took Mikey.
Yeah, literally. Like, it took Mikey like a year to get me to do this video. Like, man, so when I was younger and seeing someone like go through anxiety, and someone as powerful as Tony Stark, it does make you feel kind of more, you know, he becomes more endearing, and B, it becomes, you see it as more of a normal thing that you can even kind of accept. And especially when I believe it's done as the way they did it. I think the way they did it, I think they did it well. They showed the triggers well. They were subtle about certain factors of the PTSD and of the anxiety. Like, for example, him being an insomniac, you know, it was done in a nice subtle way, and so it drove home. Oh, okay, he's actually got PTSD, and that Avengers thing really messed him up. I didn't. Now coming out of Avengers 1, I never knew how Iron Man 3 was gonna go. I thought it was just gonna be another adventure. I never expected him to be so broken by by seeing the Chitauri when he went to space. I never knew that. I never expected it, and I thought that was a really nice surprise. One of the best scenes, I think, in Iron Man 3 is when he's having the nightmare and Pepper's asleep with him, and she's a bit annoying in the way she reacts, but when the Iron Man suit is protecting him by trying to almost attack Pepper, and he has to power it down, and he literally says, "Oh, I must have connected it to like my sleep calibers. I'll have to write." So he's literally in such a frantic mess because he's so desperate to save the universe, or so desperate to be prepared, that he connected his suits to his sleep. That's so, like, man, that's so deep. Like, could you imagine how the paranoia that's going through his head, that's going through him because of that Chitauri segment? And we didn't talk about this in Phase 1, but one of the biggest issues about Avengers 1 was that we never saw how serious of a threat the Chitauri was, but because it was all about the enjoyment of seeing the Avengers. But with Captain America 2 and Iron Man 3 and Avengers 2, you realize, oh wow, okay, this Chitauri really messed up the world. You know, you get to feel it, and you feel it the most in Iron Man 3 and in the way he is. You know, and it's still funny, it's still entertaining, but you can just see the paranoia and the anxiety in him because of that incident. You know? And like I know people were unhappy about the whole Mandarin thing, and I get it, but this is another thing as well, that Mandarin isn't Loki, he's not Joker. Is he that much of a character where it's like, wow, you didn't even get the Mandarin? You know what I mean? Like, if someone ruins the Joker, I think I'd understand, but...
Well, I think the Mandarin is Iron Man's Joker.
But Iron Man...
To be honest, I don't know.
I feel what you mean. I hear that, but I just feel like... Not that he shouldn't be done right, but it's not one of those, oh my goodness, you got him wrong, like, because he's not that big.
To be fair, my understanding of the Mandarin is he's actually quite ridiculous, and I don't think it would go
with the tone.
I don't think it would go at all well with the MCU.
Well, maybe now with Doctor Strange and things, like, maybe it would be a bit more welcoming.
Maybe,
but not really in Phase 2. You know, and again, I like the twist, and I like what the twist is like. Okay, I talked about kind of what the twist was talking about in the whole bulletproof tip, so I don't need to go into that again. But yeah, I'm very happy when people would tell me it was good, it was bad. I was saying no, you're wrong, and I kept to my guns and I trusted my instincts. I did that with a lot of movies concerning Mikey, and we'll get to that in Phase 3. Yeah, I think this is the film that made me think, wow, Tony Stark is great. I mean, I loved him. I think I did say in Avengers 1, that's when I fell in love with him, but this one was like,
well, I guess
wow.
To see a hero at their most like fragile breaking point,
yeah,
you know, is incredibly like endearing. No matter how much of an arsehole the character is, to see them go from such a high to literally, like you said, you know, connecting robots to his sleep whatevers, and literally just trying to do anything they can for safety. You know, because they're so insecure.
Exactly. And the best thing about that insecurity is he's making crappy suits, and that's the thing. Because he's so out of focus, he's so insecure, and because he's rushing everything, the suits are terrible. The suits break easily. The suits aren't endurable. Like, you know, he's just in that state of mind, and I think that's done really well. There's some really good. I love the scene where he's saving all those people in the airplane. Man, I flipping love that scene. I feel like a lot of what's really underrated in superhero movies is people actually saving lives, and I think that scene does it so well. And again, it's one of those things that you knew that no one's gonna die, but it tricked you. You know, it made you think, wow, what's happening right now? You know, it made you think, damn, this is crazy, and that's what's best. I feel like that's what's best.
And more to the point, I think Iron Man 3 was a great even though it wasn't directly before Avengers 2, I really think it helped greatly for the premise of Avengers 2.
Yeah.
Ultimately, another botched up robot, the creation of Ultron.
Yeah.
I think the premise is good. To be honest, I like the idea of Tony, in his insecurity and panic, he creates the villain. I really do enjoy that idea, but unfortunately, it kind of got lost in a whole sea of Disney
responsibility.
Like Disney executives just tugging at Joss Whedon to like do everything
by his ginger side hair.
So yeah. Let's have a little talk about Avengers 2.
Yeah.
This was supposed to be the big follow-up, the other huge money sack waiting for Disney, and it made the money, but
at what cost?
Yeah, like see, I don't like really. Standouts are what, like the Hulkbuster.
Hulkbuster was great. The opening scene is pretty cool.
The opening scene is cool.
I like the nightmares. The action is great. The interactions are great. Good. One of the best scenes I feel in like MCU is Tony's nightmare. That is real good, man. That's really good. You know what? There is a lot of good in Age of Ultron. I won't say I've never said it's a bad film. There is a lot of good in that film, but I feel there's too much responsibility, and
there is also a lot going on.
Yeah, there is too much going on.
Tony's nightmares, Thor just gone. Then you're kind of...
That's a big problem as well. They've always got Thor doing something. It's like, I'm back, guys. What I miss? Hawkeye, you have kids? Like, it's sometimes it's a bit overdone, but yeah.
Hulk's love story with Black Widow. I don't know. Cap sort of slowly disliking government. The twins, I don't know, to introduce twins to just kill one. I don't know, man.
Vision.
So much happens, and usually whenever I say that, it's in a good way, because I just keep remembering great things. A good example is Spider-Man 1. A lot of different things happen, but they're not huge plot points, and I feel Avengers 2 just really... It did so many things that go nowhere.
Until the next film, which is the problem.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with Avengers 2 is that the solutions come later. You're not satisfied then. A positive I feel of so I feel like we didn't talk about Winter Soldier enough, but I feel like we knew. But I guess Cap's government issues establishes where he stands in Civil War, and obviously Tony in Age of Ultron establishes where he stands in Civil War too. And I think that's good. I like that. I like the complete 180 because he doesn't trust himself anymore, and Age of Ultron is a good introduction to that. So again, there is good in it, but then there's characters like Scarlet Witch who just feel very... It feels like they don't have a purpose, and the worst thing is Joss Whedon insisted on having those characters and then did virtually nothing with them. He killed one of them off. Why would you insist on having two characters whose big thing is that A, they're Magneto's kids, and B, that they're twins, and then just kill one off? It just doesn't really make sense. And then there's Hawkeye.
Oh yeah. Again. He's there.
Him again. I don't know, man. Hawkeye is fun in Age of Ultron, but I think too much is spent on his background. I don't think I care that much.
See the kid. God, I forgot about that. That's another fucking thing they show.
Yeah, his kids.
Why do we care about Hawkeye's family? I get it was the hideout, but come on. I don't... Is it necessary to see his wife and see him be buddy-buddy with his kids? I don't...
Is it essential to see a father love his children?
I don't know. I don't know. It was quite strange. Was that to establish more stakes?
I
to them.
I think it was for us to get some type of personal connection with Hawkeye, for us to be like, okay, we get him, we get his motivations, and we get that maybe he saves the universe at a price. However, we never asked you. We wanted Thor and Hulk and Iron Man and Captain America.
Babies. Correction, I want Thor's babies. No, I don't know, man. It was very strange.
Oh man,
too much happens.
Too much happens. Not enough can be developed for it to be a great movie, but it's too enjoyable and too much good things happen for it to be a bad movie. So it pretty much summarizes Phase 2.
Yeah.
You know?
Phase 2 is just so weird, and to end it all, Ant-Man.
I mean, that's another film I kind of liked when I went out the cinema. I was like, it was kind of cute.
I mean, the ending scene is great.
Yeah, that is a really good scene. That is a really good scene.
The subatomic scene.
I think Ant-Man has a lot of heart. I like the way he is with his daughter. It's cute, but it feels too much like a romantic comedy. It's hard to take serious, and maybe that's the tone, but I just don't think it works. Everyone kind of just feels like they're there. Like they got a paycheck. Like the jokes, there's no... Like Michael Douglas is phoning it in. Wasp is phoning it in. The villain is phoning it in. Like everyone just feels like it's like, yep, it's a pick. Like they have T.I.
He probably had the best performance.
He was the only one that cared.
He really gave it his
Him
all.
and Louise were the ones that cared. And it's just like...
And the Russian, non-Russian?
I don't like it. I don't like it.
The team.
The team.
The A-team.
They're better than Ant-Man. No, but it's cute. It's not bad. I've spoken a lot.
Ant-Man just fucking clobbered your throat then.
It's going to expand.
It's going to control your voice box.
Ant-Man is great. Well,
T.I. was amazing.
Russia. No, but yeah, like it's not bad. It's just worst MCU film, which I guess is a compliment because it isn't. It's
you
like,
think Ant-Man's worse than Thor 2?
No, I retract that statement.
I was gonna say,
but Thor 2 isn't the worst Marvel film to me.
What is the worst Marvel film to you? Is it in Phase 2?
You know.
Oh, was it Phase 3?
Yeah. Don't say it.
I don't even know it, but okay.
You can figure it out.
What, Infinity War? Well, I don't know, because of the...
Yes! I hate Infinity War! Whoa, what a twist. No, but what a twist! I think they'd stab me. No, it's not Infinity War, but either way, we'll get into that. But yeah, it's one of the worst Phase 2 films. Which isn't a bad thing, but
one
of course...
worst films in general.
Oh my god.
Like MCU.
Oh, yeah. One of the worst films in general for MCU. Disappointing. Yeah, mixed bag. It's a very boring ending to Phase 2, I feel. But man, that post-credit scene gassed me for Civil War.
Yes.
I was like, whoa.
But one thing I do want to touch on before we move on from Phase 2 and end this video is Phase 2 did a really good job of handling... Alright, I'm going to say this weirdly now. Handling women. That was a poor way to put it across. But...
Here's how you handle them.
Let me show you. Seriously though, we mentioned Gamora and even Nebula. Even though you weren't necessarily happy with Pepper Potts killing the Mandarin.
I do think she was kind of well done, yeah, I guess.
You know, I mean, to be fair, because you're right, it does look really cool. They kind of toned down the sexual appeal of Black Widow. I don't know, man. Like, and especially because of how important Guardians is, and the fact that one of the strongest characters, both physically and mentally, is Gamora, like who happens to be a woman. I seriously just think it's cool because it's not really emphasis that it's a woman.
It's just a great character. Like, man, you don't even think about her like in a female way until. No, you never do. You never. I feel like that's the best thing about a female strong character is when you don't even think about the fact that it's a female kicking ass. It's just more, yeah, Gamora's great. Nebula's great. I mean, I feel Nebula isn't as developed in this one as she is in the second one, but like, she is well done in the first film. Oh, excuse me. You know, Gamora is well done, and Nebula is well done, and I think they set the pace for a lot of great female characters. I think in Phase 3. Damn, what's going on? Man, stop it. And the Wasp is great too. To be fair, Wasp is pretty cool in that, man. She's harmless, but I do think it's kind of it's just the fact that she's in a boring movie, but she's pretty cool in her film too. Yeah, I think Gamora is one of the best female characters in just cinema history. I hope she has a good arc.
Man, honestly, like, we're going to talk about it more in Phase 3, but seriously, like, her relationship with Nebula, it's so well done, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know, so I do wish that movies going forward who try to employ, you know, a lot more stronger women, they really do see Nebula and Gamora as, like, the standard.
Mm-hmm. And if not them, another Phase 3 duo. The Black Panther ones.
Oh, what? The Nyong'o and... I never knew
that. Oh, I'm so bad at pronouncing the last name. But yeah, Denai... Okay. Bold.
What, not even the sister?
Yeah, her too. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Shuri. Yeah, man.
Shuri.
Yeah. All three of them. Yeah. Those three. But yeah, that's Gamora and Nebula.
They are very cool. But that's Phase 3 talk.
Yeah, that's Phase 3 talk. But yeah, Gamora and Nebula are really great, man. I like... I love the dynamic, and I love how the seeds are planted in one for it to be developed in two, but we get enough in one to get the gist of it and to feel the emotions that Gamora was going through. When you think about it, back to Guardians, they're all really letting go of old family values, or in some type of way.
Well, man, I just realised, like, Gamora even tries to help Nebula.
Yeah.
And she literally...
cuts her own hand.
Like, to refuse being helped by her sister. Like, man, come on, that's some cold shit. Imagine
cold-blooded!
Imagine being so stubborn, like...
that you'd cut your own damn hand.
Bitch! You thought... No.
Oh, goodness me. But yeah, like, and I guess that's the difference, because Nebula didn't have the Guardians. She hasn't had that tunnel of trust. So she's thinking, oh, not you, you know, you know, Gamora's got that trust, because the old Gamora probably just cut her head off.
Yeah, maybe.
But the Guardians are that tunnel, you know, like they all have old family values. Like Rocket feels like he should never have a friend except for Groot. You know, Batista feels like
but he treats Groot like garbage as well.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. You know, Batista.
This has just come back to us loving
the Guardians. Drax is obviously only about avenging his kids. And he's never really had a good time. I like that Drax idolizes Star-Lord in some type of way. Like, he's always like, wow, your ship, you're amazing. But then he's just like, at the same time, you're an imbecile, you know? And I love it. And I love, you know, they all have old family values, but through each other, they find their new family. And I think that's developed more in number 2, but I feel like it is presented the most.
I didn't fart, by the way, if you heard that.
But I did. Well, I'm joking. And then obviously when they're holding hands together, that's just
great scene.
It's the way that it's, and you know what? Did you deep? I don't know if anyone's ever deep this, but the camera is very shaky when they're struggling to hold it until they can control it, and then it becomes a smooth turn.
Right.
And that's literally representing how they are with the Power Stone. And when I deeped that, I was just like, this scene is amazing.
It is a beautiful scene. I mean, with everything, with the Take My Hand and the music, the great score, man. Great score.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's enough of the Guardians of the Galaxy podcast.
Yeah, what other films was in Phase 2?
I think we're done.
Yeah, I think we're done.
But so let's do what we did at the end. So, like, if you wanted to just sort of give a number for the phase.
Okay, it's weird because even though Phase 2, I would say, has more great films than Phase 1, I do feel like as a phase, it was very all over the place.
Mm.
It wasn't...
No consistency.
Yeah, no real consistency, so it's hard. I may give it the same rating. I think I'd give it a 7 too. I think
I'd give it a 6 because you could see how unorganized it was, going from such gems like, you love Iron Man 3 and Guardians of the Galaxy and even Captain America 2, like to go from such gems to very meh movies like Thor 2, Ant-Man and Avengers 2. I don't know, mate. I honestly just think they got caught up in a situation that they were not prepared for. Are you sure that Disney acquired Marvel Studios
from Avengers 1?
Are you sure?
Yes.
So I think, Marvel succeeded and then Disney were like, okay, we want more now. Immediately.
Right now!
And
come here!
And seriously, I just don't... And obviously they demanded not only more, but to extend whatever their plans were.
Exactly.
And I really don't think they were prepared for it. Personally, and I think it shows. I could be wrong. Hey, what the fuck do I know? And yeah, for that reason, because it's not terrible, and it does have... It has one of my favourite MCU
it has 3 of my favourite MCU films of all time. And it has 2 of my favourite films of all time. But, man,
So I wouldn't put it below a 5, but I definitely wouldn't put it above a 7.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not bad. It's just too disorganized.
It's all over the place. It's almost... There's too much responsibility, and they kept thinking ahead, and that's not always a good thing. Because, man, the amount of things they had to talk on in Avengers 2, they had to do Wakanda, they had to do Hulk, they had to do Iron Man, they had to do Infinity War, they had to do callbacks to Thor 2, callbacks to Iron Man 3, callbacks to Winter Soldier, set up Civil War, set up
Infinity
War, set up Thor Ragnarok, set up a Hulk film that will never come out, just so much, man, and it was...
It's true, man, it was crazy.
It was insane, and I don't... Honestly, I don't wish that upon anyone. What you saying?
An unfortunate mess.
The only person we can trust in is James Gunn, apparently. It's funny because Captain America 2 is so great, but it was 3 months before Guardians, so I just forgot about it. Walk down the feeling. Oh, is that the end of the video?
Yes.
That's how you end it, huh?
Yes. Of course. The perfect summary.
Just disorganized, just like the face.